it's, may I start? So it's all very soft. So first, you know, we get hooked through the physical, then the awareness sets in, then, you know, we begin to relax in life. So you take what you learn in a yoga class, and then it helps you in the outside world, because one thing that they do in the yoga class is they introduce you to a controlled amount of stress, so that when you are in the outside world experiencing maybe emotional stress or whatever form of stress it is, that you can handle it with equanimity, balance, and relaxation. And you don't react, you act consciously. So awareness and relaxation. The physical postures, you know, the movements of what some people think, you know, stretching like a pretzel or whatever, can probably be defined in 3 words too. Major hamstring stretch. Okay, we stretch. Yeah, for those of you that have taken the yoga class, you know. Yeah, I couldn't even touch my toes when I started in yoga. So, but I didn't let that get in the way. I knew I wanted to get better. I felt the results, and I continued with the practice. So, you know, if you go into a yoga class just one time and you give up, I mean, not much is going to happen, although, you know, it might. I'm not saying it won't. But that's like going to the gym for the first time and lifting weights. You know, you probably won't see a change, but if you do it every day or every other day for 30 days, you're going to see the benefits. Things are going to start changing. And then can you imagine after a year with consistent practice? So just like anything, it's like being here. It's a daily discipline. Here is the Thursday discipline, another weekly discipline. So that's yoga. For you to reap the benefits, it must be that. You must commit to it, and you know, eventually it becomes a daily. You won't want to miss it, because you'll really enjoy it. You'll know that it's very beneficial. There is a word in yoga also called prana. Did your yoga teacher talk about that at all? Prana. So prana is central to the practices of yoga. Okay, prana is life force. It's the life force that animates us. Okay, so there are 4 forms of prana. One is the sun. We need the sun, right? The energy from the sun. Okay. Water, fresh water. I think in your handouts that you were given today on this yoga talk, there you have a couple of pages on the water. Fresh spring water, not water that has been sitting on a shelf in plastic bottles under fluorescent light for months. Okay, that water's dead. There's no prana in it. So if you can find a spring, findaspring.com, or fresh spring water from the source is the best. It has the most life force in it. Okay. The sun, water, food that is photosynthesized by the sun, plants, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Okay? And the breath. Spirit comes in, according to yoga philosophy, through the breath. It is what animates us. Okay? So we work a lot with the breath in yoga. We'll be experiencing that in just a little bit. But let's talk about the food for a minute, because that's why you're here tonight, right? You're here to understand how food affects our bodies. My yoga practice, actually, I don't know if I said this, but I've been practicing altogether for about 10 years. And I started through that hot yoga, and then it evolved. I'm now teaching teachers how to teach yoga. I have a certified training school. Remind me, but my personal practice has evolved to this: what I eat. I'm not doing so much asana practice anymore. Meditation, yes, always. But I have come to the realization that there is no greater spiritual truth than you are what you eat. You are what you think, too. That comes into play for sure. But you are what you eat, no doubt in my mind. That's what our bodies are made of, our flesh. How do you think that we renew ourselves? Where does that come from? It comes from the food that we put in our mouth. So is there any benefit to the potato chips, Cheetos,
Pizza.
pizza, any of that at all? No, that's an addiction. By the way, do you all know that the tobacco companies now own the snack food companies? Frito-Lay and all that, potato chips? Did you know that? You should know that.
Yes.
Because there is a theory, and I believe it, that they are putting addictive substances in the food just like they did in the cigarettes and denying it. It is, if you read the label of, pick up that bag of potato chips, Cheetos, Fritos, whatever it is, and then you do some investigative work on the computer, you'll find that it's the tobacco companies that are now that own those foods now. What are the big names? R.J. Reynolds and Philip Morris. They own these food companies. So knowledge is power. So you have to, research this. So the prana in the food, we want food. We want to eat food with the most amount of prana, life force. Raw foods. Now people get turned off when I say that. They think I'm eating raw meat, raw. There's no way. First of all, we don't eat meat in yoga. I'm not telling you that it's not, everybody has their own truth, and once you do yoga, you'll know what's best for your body. But a yogic diet is actually a vegetarian diet that is cooked as little as possible. Cooked as little as possible so the enzymes are still intact, and that's the life force. That's what we want. We don't food, actually, this is a hard sell, especially up here in this area, because we were raised on meat. My father was a butcher. Growing up. Hi, Dad. No, they all know. They all know that, And I don't push any of my beliefs on my family. They have their own truths. But, no animals, because first of all, the law of ahimsa in yoga, which is the law of nonviolence. And if you investigate the way the animals are treated in these agri-farms today, you would never even think about putting a piece of meat in your mouth if it's not organic, free range, eating grass instead of corn. I mean, you have to really be careful. You have to take care of yourself. You have to. No one's going to. No one's going to tell you. You have to do the investigative work because there's too much money, billions and billions of dollars, with the pharmaceutical companies and all of that. Which I'm digressing. I don't really want to get into it too much. But they want to just sell us pills and medicine to fix our illnesses when we don't have to have any of those pills. We can be healthy by eating the right food choices, because that's what we're made of. So, just if you are going to eat meat, make sure that you know the source. I mean, is that on an agri-farm where those animals didn't see sunlight, for their entire life, and miserable and all of this? Okay, I won't even go. Okay, let me start again. Photosynthesized food, okay? I've been eating this way for the past 8 years. I have, knock on wood, I have not had any major illnesses, or really minor, maybe a cold in the past couple of years, but nothing, thanks be to God, I'm perfectly healthy. And I believe that it has something to do with the food, because I see people all around me at my age, and I'm 49, taking 10 different pills for this and that, and going in the hospital and getting sick every other month. And it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way at all. We just have to realize, when we make a choice about what we eat, is this going to help me or is this going to hurt me? And the more you can get back to the fresh, organic fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, organic meat, maybe beef that is grass-fed and free range. Once in a while, because meat was, if you are going to eat meat, it was never meant to be eaten on a daily basis. Anyways, even in the biblical days, they just ate meat during a feast, or once in a great while. It was not part of their daily diet. Okay, so lots of fresh water. I believe that soda is a sin. I mean, there is no need, it's a total addiction, no need to ever drink soda. There's no benefit to it at all.